From the grandest strategies employed by ancient and historical generals to the simplest and often overlooked decisions of key decision makers, everything is governed by the idea of domination at the cost of personal sacrifice and at the expense of others. This push and pull of positions, especially in the vantage point of warfare, plays underneath the cushion of geopolitical modes, which is defined simply through actions made by key decision makers in order to advance a particular strategy in view of capturing political advantage over others. A decision influenced significantly by geographical facts like boundaries, coalitions, and natural resources, among many others. Lucky for you, you've come across this short video because you get to witness the many dimensions that this may be analyzed. As a backdrop, let's consider the ongoing issue of the Chinese-Taiwan dispute, particularly the U.S.'s involvement with it. Being an island located 100 miles from the coast of southeast China, China has eyed the land as one of its provinces, claiming reunification through the One China policy after the historical retreat of nationalists in 1949 to the island after a bitter conflict with the Mao-led communist movement in the mainland. To date, the area has been marred with worry as China sends out clues of invasion through evident military drills. This geopolitical schism will be analyzed through the four physical dimensions of geopolitics, which, by the way, are land, sea, air, and space power. With these points of view, we will try to capture the ways in which the U.S., as the perceived global leader, practices involvement in the issue. Alfred Mayer Tahan's sea power involved controlling sea routes and maintaining a mighty navy to achieve national greatness and commerce security. Mahan emphasizes the strategic importance of naval strength for a nation's military and economic capabilities. He identified 6 principal conditions affecting sea power. How about control over key maritime trade routes? For Mahan, this means power, as control over them allows for sustained economic and military advantages, shaping global power dynamics. The maritime choke points are crucial pathways linking oceans and seas, allowing essential goods like energy, grains, and manufactured products to flow between global markets. Deploying maritime machinery on those choke points generates national wealth, security, and influence. Lastly, maritime transport gives advantages in trade routes, which are crucial for economic success because they facilitate cost efficiency, as maritime transport is often more cost-effective than overland routes, especially for bulk goods and high-value items. Strategic connectivity as the major ports serve as hubs connecting global supply chains, enhancing trade efficiency and reducing transit times. Economic growth as the maritime sector plays a role in economic development. Core idea of Mahan's sea power correlates to the U.S. involvement in the Taiwan-China dispute. As a long-standing superpower that established itself in the Western Pacific, the U.S. involved itself in the conflict between the two countries by strengthening its alliance with Taiwan and setting out its naval presence in the region, a strategic way to maintain its command of the sea, which is protecting the Strait of Taiwan from China's control. So, whoever controls the sea, controls the world. Sir Halford John Mackinder presented the concept of heartland under the geographical pivot history before the Royal Geographical Society of London in 1904. In 1919, Mackinder published Democratic Ideals and Reality, in which he formulated his heartland theory. Mackinder's heartland theory is summed up by the idea that controlling Eastern Europe leads to control of the heartland, which enables dominance over the world island, which is composed of Europe, Asia, and Africa, and ultimately the world. This concept heavily influenced 20th century geopolitical strategies, particularly during the Cold War period. To prevent a dominant power like Germany or Russia from controlling the heartland, efforts were made after World War I to break up their influence in Eastern Europe. The heartland theory, proposed by Mackinder, emphasizes the strategic importance of Central Eurasia, termed the heartland as key to global dominance. He argued that controlling this resource-rich and geographically defensible region would allow a power to influence all of Eurasia, also known as the World Island, and potentially the world. Though later challenged by advances in air and naval power, the theory remained influential, especially during the Cold War, in shaping geopolitical strategy. When we talk about power in the context of involving the whole world, we would naturally come in contact with the pictures of armies, navies, or even nuclear threats. But there's another dimension that's just as critical, and that is up in the sky. Let's talk about air power. This dimension is not just about flying jets and airstrikes. It's about controlling mobility, projecting presence, and striking with speed and precision before the enemy can even blink. So how did air power gain prominence? Let's have a quick recap of the historic battle that happened in 1991, the Gulf War and the Operation Desert Storm. In just one night, US-led aircrafts blinded Iraq's defenses and hit hundreds of targets with its sophisticated speed and precision. That being said, what truly made this possible at that time wasn't just planes, it was space. The space technologies, to be exact. Satellites gave air missions their eyes, GPS-guided bombs. Real-time surveillance meant Iraq's army couldn't hide, even at night. Air power and space techs displayed perfect synergy and dominated the modern warfare, eliminating the need to occupy lands to establish deterrence against invading enemy forces. But here's the catch. Jets still need to land. Even the most advanced aircraft rely on runways, fuel, and proximity. And that's where geography and diplomacy meet. Allies like Japan, Guam, or the Philippines don't just offer friendship, they offer landing rights. This is the politics of air power. To control the sky, you still need the ground. Geostrategy in the Space Age by Everett C. Dolman explores how classical geopolitical theory extends into outer space, termed astropolitics. Dolman argues that just as sea and land power influence global dominance on Earth, space will serve as the next strategic frontier. In astropolitics, control of low Earth orbit is likened to controlling choke points like maritime straits, crucial for military and economic leverage. Strategic orbits such as geostationary and medium Earth orbit are vital for satellite operations and global communications. Dolman emphasizes Hohmann transfer orbits for efficient travel and Lagrange points as stable zones for positioning spacecraft without fuel expenditure. Dolman concludes that space dominance, much like historical territorial control, will define future political, military, and economic hierarchies. As nations race to expand their space capabilities, astropolitics is emerging as the new high ground of global strategy, reshaping power dynamics on a planetary scale. Both China and Taiwan have been employing space as a significant region in their conflict. China has rapidly advanced its space power through systems like Beidou and ISR satellites under its Strategic Support Force to enhance military operations and strategic deterrence. Taiwan, in response, is developing the Formosa T9 satellite constellation, secure low Earth orbit communication networks, and a national launch site to strengthen surveillance and defense capabilities. Most importantly, U.S.-Taiwan cooperation enhances Taiwan's space resilience and signals increasing strategic engagement in the face of escalating tensions with China. For what? The United States supports Taiwan to maintain technological superiority and regional stability amid rising Chinese space capabilities. As Dolman stated that space politics is the one who controls the space, controls the Earth.